journey as data science and business analytics intern at the Sparks Foundation, GRIP, for the month July 2021 batch. So today, I would like to share with you all my fourth task assigned to me from GRIP, that is the Exploratory Data Analysis on Terrorism, or in other words, EDA on Terrorism globally. The objective of my project is to perform an exploratory data analysis on the dataset Global Terrorism, and along with that, as a Secretary of Defense analyst, I have to try to find out the home zones of terrorism and what are security issues and insights I can derive by using EDA. So, we shall move into the project part. First of all, for this project, I have imported all the required libraries such as the Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib.pyplot, Seaborn, OS and %matplotlib inline. After importing all the required libraries for the particular dataset, I have loaded the dataset into a local variable, and using the head function, I have imported the first 10 observations, and based on these observations, our program will be executed further. Then, I have renamed each and every column for the better understanding purpose. Later, I have kept the necessary columns and removed the unnecessary ones. We will look into them each and every columns one by one. As a part of feature exploration step, I have used the shape function and found that the particular dataset consists of 181,691 observations and 19 variables. On using df.info function, I have found that the particular dataset does not contain any missing values, and the data types and memory usage also has been provided below. Using df.describe function, I have found the sum of the measures of central tendency for each attributes, and hence can conclude that the average number of people killed and wounded were 2.40 and 3.16 respectively. Now we will see each and every column one by one. Year, month, extended, day, country, state, region, city, latitude, longitude, attack type, killed, wounded, target, summary, group, target type, weapon type, and motive. In order to obtain unique values from the dataset, I have used the df.noneunique function. The unique values for all the variables has been listed down below. The function isNull.sum has detected and returned all the number of missing values in the dataset. Then, in the next step, I have plotted a heat map. You can see the visualization over here. Now, let me explain you what is a heat map. A correlation heat map is a heat map that depicts a 2D correlation matrix between two discrete dimensions using colored cells to represent data, usually from a monochronic scale. The values of the first dimension appear as the rows of the table and the second as the columns. In a heat map, correlation is interpreted as the values closer to 0, which means that there is no linear trend between the two variables. The value more closer to 1 indicates positive correlation. That is, as one increases, so does the other, and they do have a strong relationship among them. The list of the countries, states, regions and cities with more number of terrorist attacks. For each of them, I have plotted a bar plot depicting the data in the form of a bar chart. So first, we will see 4 countries with more number of terrorist attacks. I have printed out the list of the countries with more number of terrorist attacks and the list has been displayed below. As mentioned earlier, I have plotted a bar chart to depict the data in a bar format. From this visualization, it is clear that the top 3 countries where the terrorism attack was high were Iraq, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And from this, we can clearly understand and hence I can conclude also that Iraq was the only country among the 10 that has been highly affected by the terrorist attacks. Moving on to the state-wise terrorist attacks, the list of the states have been printed below. Here also, I have plotted a bar plot. Now, in this visualization, we can clearly understand that Baghdad was the only state with high number of terrorist attacks. Moving on to the region-wise analysis of terrorist attacks, here also I have printed down the list of the regions that have been attacked by the terrorist people. The graph board has been depicted below. In this, Northeast and North Africa were holding the highest number of terrorist attacks, followed by them South Asia was the second affected region. Next, in the city-wise terrorist attacks, the list of the cities has been displayed below. Here also the bar plot has been shown. Now, here we can see that Baghdad was the first city that has been highly affected by the terrorist attack since the first one is unknown to us. Then for years, with most terrorist attacks, the list has been given below and for the years also the bar plot has been depicted. From this visualization, we can clearly see that in the past year 2014, the terrorist activity or the attacks were high. Later on, again continuing using the bar plot, I have found the most frequent attack types, groups involved in those and the types of weapons used for this activity as a part of visual demonstration. So first, we will see for the most frequent attack types. The list has been given below for the frequent attack types. Here also, the bar plot has been depicted as I have mentioned earlier. So, from this visualization, it is clear that bombing and explosion method was the highly opted one, whereas on the other hand, hijacking was the least opted method. Then, the types of groups who have involved in the past terrorist activities, their list have been depicted below. Here also the bar plot has been depicted. If we see this visualization, we can understand that Taliban was at the first position since the first group of terrorist people are unknown to us. Now, we will see the list of the most commonly used weapon types. Again, the bar plot has been plotted. If we are having a keen observation on this visualization part of weapons, we can see that more than 80,000 of explosive weapons were used for the terrorist attacks. Then, as a last part of this project, I have plotted a scatter plot for the killed and wounded people with the title Killed versus Wounded Visualization. And from this visualization, I have observed that the more number of people who were killed and wounded lied under the range 300 to 1000, and the highest number of people who were killed and wounded were 1400 and 8000 respectively. Last, to conclude this task, in hot zones, country-wise terrorist attacks, Iraq had the highest rate, Spain had the lowest rate. In state-wise terrorist attacks, Baghdad had the highest rate, whereas Antioquia had the least. For region-wise terrorist attacks, Middle East and North Africa was at the first position, Australasia and Oceania was at the last position. Among the most frequently attacked cities, Baghdad was highly affected since the first one is unknown. For year-wise terrorist attack, 2014 was the year with most frequent terrorist attack in the past, and 1988 was the year with least attacks. Now, the second part of this project, what are the insights I have drawn by using EDA? First, the most frequent attack type was bombing or explosion method. The groups involved in the terrorist activities were Taliban, since the first type of groups were unknown to people. The most commonly used weapon for terrorist activity were explosive. So, from this above statement, we can conclude that it was wise and advisable for people to stay at homes and avoid gatherings at crowded places or areas. For killed versus visualization plot, the census shows that most of the people who were killed and wounded lies under the range 300, 1000. The highest number of people killed and wounded due to the terrorist activity was 1400 and 8000 respectively. Finally, from this project, based on the observations, I can conclude that even though there is a perception that Muslims are the supporters of terrorism, we can clearly say that Muslims were the only ones who were highly damaged with injuries and death rates by the impact of terrorist attacks. On having a keen observation for the country-wise terrorist attack graphics, it appears to be stated that Iraq, Afghanistan and Pakistan were the most damaged countries. All these countries were Muslim countries and they were the ones who were badly affected on having a comparison with rest of the countries. I hope you all have enjoyed my video. Please do view my previous videos and comment your feedbacks over there. I would highly appreciate your suggestions, evaluations and feedbacks in the below comment section.